Hi. Hi, and welcome to Destiny and Dice D&D live stream. I am Rogue Dragon, and I am guest DMing today for a special one-shot titled Gardens of Fog. This module is sold as a charity, with all proceeds going to TakeThis.org. This charity's mission is to educate people about mental health, as well as destigmatizing mental illness. I wanted to do this in May because May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And I want to just do my part to try and help increase understanding. The stigma of mental health can hold a lot of people back from getting help. Even well-intentioned actions can still hold people back. Like, I think the example of Elsa's father in Frozen, I think it's a good example of somebody who thought they were helping with the only fix he knew of by hiding Elsa's emotion, but in the end, that only treated the symptoms, but exacerbated the true problem. So, like, okay, this is important to me. Just understanding your own mental health can be very important too. Like, I was in college, I thought I was an inherently lazy person, and I did not realize until much later, like a decade later, that all that procrastination was anxiety related. And if I'd known that at the time, I could have possibly talked with my teachers about alternative ways to accomplish the projects or something. And I mean, if I understood my depression better, um, there's somebody in high school that I treated badly that I wish I could go in and undo. Just, just things like that. And if anybody watching this thinks that they're having trouble, if you just feel free to Google, reach out to anybody. There's a lot of resources to help. So the Gardens of Fog creators, their main goal in this adventure, they wanted to show that people who suffer from mental health difficulties come from all walks of life, that there's always hope for improvement. Their struggles are not their fault. They are worthy of our compassion, understanding, and not pity. Empathy and validation are often more effective tools to help others than reassurance and problem solving. And feeling included increases resilience. So my version of this Gardens of Fog module actually has a lot of changes and twists. So if anybody else wants to run this module again, they probably be a pretty different story. But this is also the reason why there isn't any other Destiny and Dice spaces today, because I ran it all with them. They know the spoilers. Literal Tester and Miranda are two people who are returning that have been on the stream before. They were both in Jared's one shot, The Silent Cartographer, and Scott was actually in. Let's see, he was in Moonscar's Christmas one shot, but we don't get to appreciate his face, unfortunately. Two new faces here that we're excited to have. Our friends of Osmium Queens from One Shot Clusters, Chaz and Littlest Neverland. Super excited to have with us tonight. Did anybody want to add anything? I mean, that's it. All right. So that's my intro. I'll get started. So this story, let's see. In the mountains of the frontiers of civilization, a river cuts a narrow canyon through a more treacherous region. Quartz Bottom River, as it is called, Quartz Bottom River Run, it's unwieldy, as it is called, is a safer route through the mountains for many travelers than most of the time than going all the way around. On the worst days of winter and in monsoon-like rains, the Quartz Bottom Run can be just as dangerous as if travelers had gone the long way around. No matter the journey, the first building to greet travelers as they exit the canyon is a warm and welcoming inn, the Wanderer's Hearth. The Wanderer's Hearth has greeted hundreds of travelers over the years, and many have gotten special care and assistance from the kindly owners when their journeys through the Narrows was worse than they had prepared for. The halfling owners, the Dewbreezes, delight in helping those who need it, and they never have turned anyone away that was in need. Beyond the tavern opens into a small valley and the small town of Quartz Bottom. The town originally was set up as a waypoint for travelers until gold was found among the region's abundant quartz deposits. Now the town itself is a destination creating a community of miners and farmers. A festival is held every year to celebrate Golden Days, which celebrates the town's contribution to the greater regional community, their resources, and the gods that brought them this far. Today is the first day of that festival, and the excitement is high. Inside the Wanderer's Hearth is a bustle of activity. A halfling with curly red hair scurrying about, seemingly trying to do 20 things at once. All of you know this halfling. She owns this inn. She owns this inn that once belonged to her father, and she happily counts each of you among her friends. Okay, Victor. I was hoping you could help me carry these dishes when you were headed out when you head out to the dugout. These didn't fit in the cart that Dave and Jeffy took, and you've got more arm capacity than me. Everybody. So you go with that. Everybody, can I have your attention? I would appreciate all of you if you could head out and go up the road to the dugout. That's where the main festival is being held. You're welcome if you've got rooms you're staying in. You're welcome to do that too. But I'd like to invite you to join our town's festival. But I need to lock up the tavern part of it because it's going to be unmanned. So I would appreciate it if we could finish up and go ahead and do that. Don't worry, Dave will be back in an hour. If you want to go, if you don't want to go to the festival, she looks over at a half orc in the corner. Marge, please try going for a little bit and get something to eat. And in the corner, the half orc, who looks like a permanent fixture, with a pint, already half drunk, gave a begrudged chuckle and finishes her pint. Let's see. As the crowd thins, Jenna perks up at seeing some familiar faces. Goddess Asha, is that you? Irwina? Marcus? Otis, is that you by the door? Oh my gosh, you guys, come here. Oh my gosh, it's been so long since I've seen you. And she first starts by running up to Asha and throwing her arms around in a hug around his left leg. Because she's a halfling.
Asha. Sorry, yeah. Asha, sees her, accepts the hug, and goes down and wraps his big Leonin arms around her and says, "Oh, Jenna, it's so good to see you again."
Oh my gosh, you're so big now. I mean, everybody's big to me, but oh my gosh. Oh, did you come for the festival? Oh my gosh, it is so exciting to see all of you here. She turns to, who's next? Marcus, you want to go next? Actually, Asha, you want to describe yourself?
Yeah, so Asha is a little over 6 foot Leonin. He's a fighter. He's wearing chainmail and brown leathers and some woven materials mixed in. He has a sort of dirty strawberry blonde mane and somewhat of a paler fur around him. The rest of his body. That's what I'm saying. And yeah, he's a big guy. But he's young. So yeah, that's Asha.
Awesome. Marcus, she's gonna turn to Marcus and just start gushing. She's like, "It's been a while since I've seen you. Are you feeling okay? How have you been?" And she's gonna go up and hug him too. He is a Arakakra.
Well, Marcus would definitely hug her back, and he's a little bit on the shorter side too. He's about 5 feet tall, and he's very excited to see her. As he's hugging her, you might notice that he makes a kind of a happy trill noise as he does. And he's gonna kind of pluck out one of his larger green feathers and go ahead and hand it to her as a gift. And he's just like, it's been so long. I know. I just came back from the mountains. I'm feeling great.
Well, there's so much I'd love to chat with you about. Oh man, I've got to get to the town square. But oh my gosh, I still want to say hi to the rest of you. Otis, is that you? I mean, that is you. Oh gosh, I shouldn't say that. I'm sorry. Hi, how you been?
I've been good, my dear.
That's good. That's good.
Lots of travel, lots of wine, lots of fun places and adventure.
Awesome. I'd love to hear all about it as soon as we get a chance. I mean,
Would you like me to put it to song to you for you?
At some point, yeah. And if you want to play, play at the tavern, that'd be awesome too. Your winner? My, look at you. You're looking great. You're looking beautiful. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing quite well, thank you. I just I wasn't actually aware that there was a festival happening at the moment, so this is a nice little surprise.
Oh. And are you out here looking for digs? Or are you just passing through?
I am looking for digs, actually. I also had some questions that I wanted to ask you, but I can ask you later. I can see you're quite busy.
Okay, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, there's there wasn't much we could do for the festival this year, but we were able to offer to help with setup and whatnot. I mean, you know, halflings, they love their potlucks. And so, I mean, this is one of those things that everybody brings something and there's always too much to eat, which, you know, for halflings seems so hard to imagine, but it's been a good tradition. And we want to help however we can. Okay, so okay. Did I give everybody a chance to describe themselves? Victor, I haven't. Actually, I don't think I gave.
Anybody except us.
Irina, let's just backtrack. You want to describe yourself?
Me?
Irina.
Yeah. I am a satyr druid, and I'm an archaeologist. I'm very excited, but very skittish and very awkward, and I don't really know how to communicate with other people very well, being that I was never really taught that side of life. I was taught by my parents, you know, about archaeology and digs and philosophy and things like that. So yeah, that's Irina.
Otis, do you want to describe yourself? Please.
Well, I suppose a bit. Currently, Otis wears a nice, sharp, very well-tailored suit of clothing. He's currently a bit tall, a little over 6 feet. He has angular but kind of roguishly handsome features, pointed ears, kind of slightly reddish hair on the darker side. That's kind of artfully parted to the side, and close onlookers, mostly Jenna, would be able to notice that whenever he greeted her, that his eyes literally brightened in color a little bit.
Sorry. The only other person left in the tavern at this point, except for the half-orc, she's still drunkenly making her way out, is Victor. Her servant sounds weird. Employee is the word. Her employee friend. You wanna describe your character?
Victor is a middle-aged elf ladrin. He is of the fall variety, so he has dark reddish skin, orangish reddish skin, with some orange blondish hair. He seems to be working under Jenna's employ as like a busboy, and he's currently finishing up putting dishes up for Jenna. One notable thing about him is he is a cleric, and his god is a deity he calls the Rogue Dragon.
All right. Jenna's still a little scattered. She's like, I am so excited to hang out with all of you again. I hope you guys are going to spend multiple days here so we can have a chance to catch up. I've really got to run. If you want to come to the festival, it's just down the road, and then before you hit the bridge, it's on the right, and it's up towards the mines. It's this it's called it's where everybody's going to be. You'll see it here. I'll see you there. Okay. Great. All right.
See you later, Jenna.
Right. Guess you didn't type up an intro to that. Okay. I forgot to do that. The dugout is what they call their little town gathering space. It was the original mining pit from which this town's first miner camp first started. It eventually got completely excavated with no more gold or usable quartz. But they still use it as a gathering place, especially since sometimes in the morning and certain parts of the year, little bits of quartz can still sparkle throughout the it's not a can. Just this little enclave. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it up. There is a huge bustle of activity, and Jenna, an absolute social butterfly, is running around trying to make sure everybody's doing well. She's trying to make sure everything is going correctly. Let's see. When she sees you guys come up again, she is going to take a moment. He's like, Otis, can you come here?
Yeah.
I want to introduce you to someone. Yeah. And she's going to pretty much drag you up to meet a couple people.
Otis would oblige with a good, socially pleasant smile on his face.
All right. There is a couple of bald individuals, a dwarf man who has some scars and a lot of tattoos on his head, and a human woman with dark skin who has a single tattoo on her head. And Jenna's like, Otis, this is Kai. Kai, this is Otis. I think. I think you guys might have a few things in common. Might be interested in talking. I mean, just at some point, maybe while he's in town. I mean, I think it might be interesting. I mean, for you. I don't have to be involved at all. Morning, Rurik. Good to see you. I'm gonna. Oh my gosh. Oh, guys, don't go too far. There's someone else I want to introduce you to. And she runs off into the crowd again.
Otis will cup his hands to his mouth. Good luck!
Right. And then Kai kind of looks at Otis and is like, do you know what that was about?
Frankly, I have no clue.
Okay.
But Kai, was it?
Yes, Kai Yinkal. I'm the local medic. Just a simple cleric. I don't even. I mean, I barely even am a cleric. I mean, Rurik's been teaching me here a few things, but I'm mostly a mundane medical personnel.
I see. I'm Otizian. It's a pleasure to meet you. Reaches out his hand, shakes hers with a firm grasp. Or his, whichever.
I don't know if Rurik wants to pop in and say anything or not.
I was going to give you a chance to finish your chatting, but it is good to meet you. You must be one of Jenna's friends. She's a very good person. I love her very much. What is it you do, Otis?
Yes, I am a traveling entertainer, I suppose. I'm good with instruments, dance, just helping people laugh and have a good time. It's what I like doing. It's what I like seeing.
Ah, I see why Jenna befriends you. She's all about having a good time with good people. It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Yours as well. But I have to say, it has been a while since I was here last, so mildly surprising that she remembered me this long, but can't complain.
That is our Jenna. She is very, very much a person of the people, and her whole family has been.
Eventually, sorry.
No, go on.
Well, Jenna comes barreling back out of the crowd with another halfling being dragged behind her. And she's like, "Hey, Asha, you were not, where'd Marcus go?"
Well, I think he went that way, yeah.
Marcus, come here.
He'd be like turning around. Marcus was looking for, it's a peach festival, so he's looking for the peaches. But dear Jenna, and he'd be like, oh, okay, I'm coming.
Oh, I'm like, you could. I mean, they probably won't run out of food soon, and even if you don't, I can show you where the orchards are later if you want.
As long as I can get
Sounds
one of those
fun.
pies again. Oh, sorry.
Okay, I want. Sorry, I'm excited. I want to introduce you to Moshi. This is Moshi Greenhill. This is my boyfriend. He is a miner. And then Moshi's like, oh, hi, and it's good to see you. I meet you. Hi. I would like to clarify that she likes to do this to me. When she says miner, she does not mean with an O. She means with an E. Just for the record. And Jenna's just sitting there giggling like a mad fool. It's like, okay.
That's a good distinction to make. Yes.
Yeah, I'm not even technically. I'm not a main miner. I do fine tuning stuff, and I evaluate jewels, and it's. I mean, if you want to talk shop, and Jenna's gonna be like, actually, Irina does a lot of digging too. I mean, she probably doesn't. Actually, I'm not sure how archaeology works. I guess I kind of imagine you just digging into things, so you can't always do that because you might break stuff.
Yes, it's definitely less digging and more so searching, and going around things in particular to try and find things that people otherwise wouldn't have found. If that makes any sense at all.
You're a treasure hunter, then. That's what it sounds like to me.
I mean,
I guess in a sense, sort of. But what I find treasure, other people might not quite find to be treasure, like bones and little fragments of pottery, and gets me so excited. But others generally think of these things as trash, not as treasure, but I think of them as treasure. So yes, I guess in a way I'm a little bit of a treasure hunter.
Moshi kind of speaks. It's like, I found some fossilized snail shells in some of the rockage back. Sorry. He probably has some very nerdy mining related wording there. It's like, I found that once. I mean, it's most of the other guys thought I was okay. They didn't think it was anything worth getting hyped up over, but I thought it was certainly pretty cool. I still have them.
I would love if I could possibly at some point have a look at them, if that would be okay.
Yeah. But she's excited to have somebody to chat shop with.
Iwina kind of does like a little bit of like a happy dance, but then kind of very much like quickly realizes and is like, oh yeah.
Okay, I'm going to I think I'm going to check and see if Dave and Jeffine need anything, or hey, wait. Moshi stops Jenna before she can get too far. He's like, I wanted to here, I'm gonna drag you around for a change. So he starts dragging her. Kind of in the middle of the whole crowd.
Ooh.
And this particular Kenku sorry. These are the Destiny and Dice Cruise characters from previous runs, but that Kenku's gonna get like this third-hand social anxiety by seeing the crowd start to gather as Moshi starts going, can I get everybody's... I just hit the mic. Can I get everybody's attention, please? Everyone? Alright? Please, and he has a little bit of trouble, but then a boisterous Luxodon just yells out, hey, yo! Okay, she wouldn't...
Marcus would come up and notice he's trying to get everyone's attention, so he'd let out some very loud whistles to try and get people's attention for him.
I was just like, I'm impressed. I wish I could do that. And Jenna's like, what are you doing? So once he has everybody's attention, he's gonna go, all right, hey everybody, most of you know me. I mean, those of you who live here mostly know me. I mean, most everybody here knows me because of Jenna. And like the crowd's like, oh yeah. Everybody knows Jenna. She's the amazing innkeeper, and I'm just her sidekick boyfriend. Let's see. Jenna just blushes at this, and the audience, the crowd is gathering together, and they're just laughing. Everybody's having a good time, so it's just like this. The whole feelings get kind of contagious. But Moshi continues his little speech. As many of you know of Jenna's amazing qualities, she's caring, clever, dedicated, and I'm sure we can all agree is a staple of our community, just like her father was, Gerald Dubreeze. Now, Gerald passed away 7 years ago, may he rest in peace, and Jenna has been running the Wanderer's Heart alone with the same love and amazing skill her father has had. And Jenna is looking really embarrassed at this point. I mean, she's a social butterfly, so she doesn't hate the attention, but I mean, some of you might have noticed that she kind of winced at that last bit. But she says, Moshi, you're sweet, but why are you doing all this? And Moshi's like, I know you love being surrounded by friends. I know you. And she's like, oh yeah. He says, well, I wanted everybody to be able to be a part of this. I don't want you to have to be alone anymore, Jenna. Will you consent to be my wife? And like the whole crowd just loses their mind because that's what. Let's see. Jenna's face at first shines with delight. The crowd is cheering, even before she even responds. But she doesn't say anything, and it's slightly awkward amount of time before you realize that her smile has faltered. For Marcus, since he's close enough, and anybody else, you might see that some micro expressions of joy have become worry, confusion, fear, terror. Suddenly her eyes go white and she collapses. Can I get a perception check from everybody? Otis might have found somebody to flirt with.
No, yeah. Definitely looking at the wrong person.
Alright. Think Victor and Irina just barely think that they can just hear, kind of from some far off place, something that sounds like. But most of the crowd doesn't even notice. In fact, the crowd, at least one person in the crowd's like, oh my gosh, she fainted, she's so excited! And the crowd kind of moves on. They think she's probably fine. But a few people have run up, including Rurik. Where'd you go? Rurik, since you are familiar with fiendish magic, you can tell something's going on. You can kind of feel it. A couple other people also run up. Join. Between you, Kai, and some bumbly little pink gnome come up, and he instructs either Rurik or Kai to go ahead and pick her up, and they start to leave.
Marcus is going to follow.
It's like Kai. At first, they just kind of pull her aside. But after taking a look at her for a little bit, Kai says, "Let's take her back to my place." And so is everybody gonna come? Follow?
Irina will follow.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I would follow.
Marcus
I
is
think
very
eventually Otis would follow. He'd be like, "Oh wait, what? Something is happening?"
Okay, so you see them moving out.
Like,
There's a few people who ask if she's okay, and they're like, "Yeah, we got it." And so you think more people would ask, but I need to fix something real quick. Nope, I'm good. Except I never brought your tokens out.
dun dun dun.
Do. Oh, there's two Victors. Alright. This is Kai's house. Originally, the house was just a small portion, but you could tell that the whole west wing of the house was a later addition. Obviously intended to help her expand her local town medic facilities and be able to be a proper town medic. But once you guys have caught up, they kind of left the door open. They weren't really thinking about keeping it closed. So, in fact, I think they did just leave the door open, not really paying attention.
I will probably have Otis come in the middle of things after he starts to realize stuff and then follow. So don't wait up.
All right. After Kai goes through and does a series of little tests, she says, "This is not familiar to me. I mean, her eyes are obviously moving as if she's dreaming, but I can't tell what's going on with her. This might be out of my scope of expertise." What do you mean? It's the first voice I could come up with for the grumpy old gnome. Come on, that's she's just anxious, right? I mean, not everybody gets proposed to. It's just every day. Moshe's like, "Wait, what? You think that's why?" this happened? This is my fault? Oh, no, don't worry, Blake. Don't fret it. Don't just... I'm sure there's perfectly good reason. She's tough, just like her father was. Good man. Just like a brother to me. He starts rambling, but...
Marcus is gonna go ahead and do his own investigation of how she's doing, like check her blood pressure, all that kind of stuff. Would you like me to roll a medicine check?
Sure.
Right. Yeesh.
It's weird. There's like several things that, I mean, you would think that she'd be like clammy or cold or something, or feverish, but her body temperature seems pretty normal, except she seems kind of pale.
Mm-hmm.
But I think those of you who have magical inclinations might be able to tell that there is something magical going on. Kai looks up at Rurik and says, "You look like you know something. Have you seen this before?"
Yes. In one word, yes. I have seen this before. I have seen this before because I have been this before. It is not anything to do with your proposal, small man. Worry not. Jenna, she loves you. This is nothing. None of this is your fault.
Oh.
Otis leans
Rurik
into
will-
Erwina and stage whispers, What's this? What's going on?
Marcus would
After
ask him, and he'd be like, "Is this magic?"
In a way, yes. It's... Rurik will lift his hand from her head and say, "This, Jenna is suffering from what you might call madness. But it's not what you think. There's some fiendish magic at play here, and it is keeping her trapped in her mind. Jenna previously called me, or got a hold of me via letter, as I was wandering. She's been having some troubles. They're from a source that I have not been able to identify yet. But she asked me to help her mobilize some of her own mental defenses to help support her. I don't know if she has contacted you all, but I told her I recommended to gather to her friends in case something became even more wrong, and that is what has happened. She has taken a turn for the worst, and she's in danger, and she needs your help."
Moshi looks surprised by this, but Kai does not. I mean, she looks a little surprised. She says, she spoke that she was having some struggles, but she wanted to keep it, well, she didn't want to worry people.
Marcus is going to try casting resistance on her. As spells displayed.
Unfortunately, I don't think she's in a place to be able to try doing anything. She's not really... I mean, she's not conscious. And even unconscious, she's really not at the helm. That just sounds weird.
Marcus is gonna
This is
get the
rather
feathers
odd.
on his neck.
Do we... Kai speaks up. Do we know what would have caused this? Is it external force? She seemed concerned that something it seemed like something else could be affecting her.
Could someone have done this to her?
Why would someone do this to her?
Well, I don't know why someone would do it, but is this something that another person could have caused? Did anybody have ill will against her? I couldn't see why they would, but maybe against her or even her father, perhaps.
Lothar, the unofficial uncle of Jenna, he speaks up. Is like, well, like several decades back, we had a hag. But we tracked her down and killed her. She tried to steal a baby, but we tracked her down and killed her. But then she had like this cave in the canyon, and we blew that up, and any other canyons that she could nest in. The hag's nest.
Did you ever find a body? Because.
Oh yeah, she was. It was gross.
Oh, because I don't know, something about that just doesn't quite sit right with me. Who kind of led this I guess execution of this hag?
Actually, I do believe Gerard was involved with that. I mean, he was pretty motivated. I mean, I was there too, but what was I doing? That wasn't that long ago. It was like, hey, boy, were you? No, you probably were too young. And Moshe's like, yeah, I've heard about this, but I wasn't.
Yeah, I don't know. Something tells me that I just have a feeling that that tag might have possibly something to do with this. It just feels a little too easy what happened.
I sometimes hags aren't they like covens, or we've never had another problem, but I guess you could have had a sister or something. Remini, I don't want another hag. They like. Actually, I don't know much about them. I think everything I know is hearsay.
Yeah, I wish I knew more about them, but I haven't run into them very much at all guarding shipments across the plains.
I don't know. Something seems a little bit off to me, and I think you're right. They usually, I believe, what you're referring to as a hag might more commonly be referred to as a witch, and you're right in saying that they usually have covens or even siblings that you might have angered, possibly.
I'd say 40 years is a long time to hold a grudge, but look at me, I'm an old gnome. I've had much older grudges. This isn't a laughing matter. Oh, I don't. Oh, this is terrible. Poor Jenna.
Excuse me, a dwarf man. I don't know your name. I'm sorry.
No.
No, not you.
Yes, my name is Rorik.
Yes, thank you, Rorik. You said earlier that this sort of thing happened to you?
Yes, it happened to me a long time ago. With the mention of this hag, I've become even more concerned with what's going on here. Jenna is in serious danger.
What?
The dwarf will gesture to his raiment and his shield. I don't know if you've heard of my master, Mericlin. He is a specialist in dealing with trauma of the mind. She is suffering and she needs your help right now. And as fate would have it, they sent The fates are funny things. They sent me here in time to help intercede. Do you all wish to help Jenna?
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm just a little bit lost on how exactly we can help. Is there like a medicine we can get her?
The best medicine for Jenna right now is your friendship and your faith. I can put you into her mind. It is the teachings of my instructor that has given me the ability to do this, and I can place you in her mind because that is where she is battling. Weapons of steel out here in the real world will not help her. But if you choose to help her, I can place you all in her mind to assist her at this time. It will require great concentration, and I want you to know that once you enter, anything that happens in her mind to you happens to you out here. If you die out here for real.
Oh,
But
she's-
the risk is worth it if you are willing to save her.
In the
Mo-
background, earlier on in this explanation, Otis would kind of cover his mouth and stifle a snort, and he looks away. But then whenever he comes back, he's got a composed face as he listens to the rest of the explanation.
So, what you're saying is we're gonna go into her brain.
Yes.
Uh, sure. I mean, if it will help Jenna,
Yep.
then I don't. I mean, it's new territory to explore. So,
Moshi stands up. I mean, I don't mean to cut you off, but he doesn't care as much. He's pretty anxious. Like, I'll do anything, whatever it takes. Lothar's like tugging over, like, son, I'm not sure you're in any place to. Well, look at you, you're a shaken mess. And Kai also steps up. She's like, yes, I'm not sure. I'm not sure it would be wise if anybody from town. She's pretty much our. She's a therapist for most of the town, bartender. She knows a lot of secrets. I do think the idea of adventurers and these friends that don't stick around long, especially friends like you that are still obviously love her as much as the town people do. I mean, I guess that's a selfish thing to say, but I do worry that us locals might be biased or something.
I mean, I kind of agree with Minor McBoyfriend over there. Like, you know her a lot better than at least I do, so it makes sense. Though I admit that I'm not any sort of expert in the brain delving arts.
Yeah, me neither. But if Jenna helped me when I was lost, and if she's fighting through some sort of terror, if there's anything I can do to help her, I will.
I
Nice.
agree. She's helped me a lot for trying to find my family. So this seems only fair.
Kai sighs and says, I'm sorry for my hesitation. There's more important things than secrets. How many people do you think you can send in?
I can marshal the resources for 5.
Oh, I guess that's the 5 of us together, a team. Woo.
That's what it sounds
Otis
like.
Otis groans a little and pinches his nose. But then he looks at Rowena and goes, could be worse.
Just a second.
If she looks at him after that, then he will wink.
Marcus is
Could
gonna
be a
go
lot
ahead and
worse.
settle down on the floor and be like, do whatever you have to do. Jenna's always made sure I had somewhere to rest. I want to help her.
Kai rolled an 11 for insight. I think she missed that.
Well, I normally
Moshi.
only work 1 day a week, but now she's got me working all 7 days. I was kind of wondering what that was about, so she definitely wanted me here. I'll go.
First of all, Moshi, as the closest person here to her, she is unable to give us permission to enter her mind. I will knock and I will ask politely, but as her betrothed, you are now the closest person to her. Do you think that she would consent to such a thing happening in order to save her life?
I mean, I think she would, but I mean, I want her to say yes. And he's gonna look to Lothar. It's like, you know her too. She would say yes, wouldn't she? And Lothar's gonna say, well, she can kind of, like her dad was. They wanted to make sure they could stand on their own 2 feet. I mean, but I think they knew when it was time to ask for help. At least I thought they knew. I thought she would have known. But I guess if she was being struck by this monster, I hope she. Oh,
If you think that this is something she would have you do, then I will begin. And he will take his shield and kind of place it at the feet of her bed, and then kind of wiggle his way around and put both of his hands on top of her head. For those who are going in, please place your hand on the shield, but only do so if you are willing to do this and save her, and above all are willing to accept the risks that are involved.
Actually, about that, like, what's it actually like inside someone's head? Is it like all squishy like an actual brain, or is it super weird like in a dream, or what? Like, what are we talking about
Most
here?
I imagine lots of brain goop.
No, I'm not.
Like a swamp.
It's more like a dream.
I definitely like
Dream?
her.
A dream that is very real. You will be able to touch and interact with the landscape, but you must know that anything that you touch and mess with is also part of Jenna's psyche.
Oh, no, no, no. So hands to yourselves. Keep your hands inside the ride at all times. I understand. Okay.
So, like, if I accidentally step or sit on something kind of odd, then she could turn into an evil serial killer, is what you're saying.
Oh, no.
Lovely.
Again, this will depend on how much of Jenna will let you do in her own psyche. Also, there is another influence here. There is something causing this. There is something that is attacking her. Your job now is to find what is attacking her and get rid of it.
Irina's just gonna like duck under everybody and just like slap her hand on the shield.
Just like, I'm ready.
Asha will place his paw and like firmly nod to Rurik. Say, I'm ready.
Marcus would do the same thing. He's ready to go.
Victor looks over at Otis, kind of like gives him the look of like, come on. And he puts his hand on.
Otis takes a breath and he's like, all right.
Marcus, when you wake
on an
up, you'll
adventure.
find When you wake up, Marcus, you will find that you have the shield that you have your hands on. I will be able to communicate to your group through that shield should things become difficult. But I will be mostly focused on maintaining what stability I can out here. Please, take care of our friend. Make sure she's safe. And with that, he'll begin his ritual, and...
Waiting with bated breath.
Sorry.
How long does this ritual take?
Are we just gonna stand here? Or do we have to do a dance too?
Maybe there's a chant?
Ooh, I can do a dance. Otis starts humming a little and tapping a beat with his fingers on the shield. He's quite good at it too. It's kind of catchy though. Kind of earwormy.
Acha starts tapping his fingers on the shield too.
I'm sorry.
Irina is just like bopping along.
This is
Or his like feathers or like frill up for a second. You might click a couple times and then start tapping too.
All right. All right. The world fades away. You feel a strong pull of vertigo. After trying to reorient yourself and shake off the dizziness out of your head, you find yourself on a stone bridge over what appears to be a raging river.
Oh. I guess we're meant to cross the bridge. Maybe.
I mean, I'm no expert, but generally bridges are supposed to help you cross a river.
Generally.
So yeah, probably.
True.
Before you is a large garden enshrouded in fog. The stench of decay hits you as you start to get a look at your surroundings.
Bottom of the map is actually what they're looking at the ancient option farm.
Oh. That's not the button I wanted. Sorry.
All good.
About to say, I was waiting for it to come into focus on my end, and then suddenly...
And then suddenly you went black.
Yeah, sorry, I got carried away with the map making it big of a big map. I don't know if you noticed that with the dugout.
I see nothing to apologize for. This looks awesome.
Yeah, just give it a minute and it'll be fine.
Yeah, I hope it loads.
Oh, Jenna.
Alright, you see a garden in heavy distress. Patches of grass are either overgrown or patchy and dry. Many of the trees look dead or dying, with a sickly hue to their leaves. Rows of planters are filled with dead and dying vegetation. Nothing in this garden could be described as looking as healthy, and it looks like this decay has been going on for quite some time. The heavy fog seems to muffle and obscure sounds, but a keening wail pierces the fog intermittently.
Marcus is like rushing around, looking around. He's like, oh, this can't be good. This can't be good.
I have to admit, Jenna's brain is a little bit creepy. I guess this is a physical representation of her current mindset. Or
did
mind
anyone
shape,
else
I guess
not
you
great.
could say.
Oh, no, no, no. This poor tree. No, it doesn't look good.
Neither does this one. And
Well, I
as,
don't know if you've noticed, none of them look particularly good right now. I think that's kind of the point.
yeah, no, I think that's a good observation.
Thank you.
Of course,
Uh,
is there
You hear-
something we can fix? Do you all see anything that we, I don't know, might need to do something
Your
about?
Wiener is just like running off far ahead of you guys. 'Cause
You
she's
hear
impatient.
a cry. Just a scream.
oh no.
You've heard it a couple of times.
Is it Jenna's scream?
I mean, you could roll for it, but you're pretty sure, yes.
Okay. Erwina, don't go so far ahead.
Myself.
And Wiener's she's just standing here at this.
What's all this mess then? Looks like someone's been running around with a pot of black ink. What a
Otis-
waste of ink.
At the far end of the garden, you find some curious trails leading outside of the main garden. A haphazard trail of large crimson bird feathers down one path towards a dense forest. A dotted, tarry black substance that reeks of sweat leads down a rocky, untended garden path. To the right.
What smells?
The black, icky stuff. But the crying, the screaming and crying you're hearing are coming from the trail with the red bird feathers.
Well, the crying's coming from that direction, so I think we should go that way.
Alrighty.
I don't
Do these types of
disagree.
feathers look familiar to you at all, my feathered friend? I'm sorry, I don't think I caught your name yet.
I'm Marcus. He'd like lean down and take a good look at him. Should I roll an investigation for the feathers to see if I recognize them?
I'd say
Or nature?
which one's better for you? Do it with advantage.
Okay. Both of them are the same for me. Perception's different though.
If you want to do perception, go for it.
Alright. Do I recognize these feathers?
That's enough. They kind of remind you of Arakocra feathers. You got feathers like this on yourself, except they're kind of mangy. It is Arakocra. It's not one that takes very good care of themselves.
Marcus would kind of click with disapproval while looking over. It's like, they kind of look like mine, but they're not well taken care of at all. Just like this entire garden, they're dirty. It's not good.
Ungroomed bird person. It's even
Dirty feathers. Yeah.
more sad than poorly groomed human.
Those darn dirty humans.
I'm not
There's
sure
any humans in the
about
group.
that.
There isn't any humans in the group. Not that you guys know that. Sorry. Oh, he's got one. Oh, you have one.
Speaking of self-care, I like your horns. How do you, what's your process for taking care of them? He says to
Well,
Erwina.
I like to once a week, I like to buff them out a little bit and get them nice and shiny. And then every morning and night, I put a little bit of oil on them. And we're not here to talk about how I take care of my horns, sir. Sir, get your head out of the gutter. We have things to focus on right now.
Hey, I'm just trying to make sure that we don't, go into, I don't know, what do you call it, despair as we're walking around here. I'd much prefer to have a nice, normal conversation instead of, "Oh, we're all gonna die and so's Jenna."
Well, so long as we keep walking while we're doing the talking.
Oh yes, Otis would definitely keep walking.
Okay. Whilst these feathers do look a little bit mangy, I do have to say they're a very pretty colour. I do quite like the colour. There.
Little, yes.
Okay. Alrighty.
And then we step into the void.
Oh no, it's very dark in here.
Alright. Alright. The trail of mangy red feathers leads to a hollow of trees with bloody bark, drooping blackened leaves, and skin-tearing briars. Shadows jump and flicker as the air grows warm and suffocating. The unmistakable tingle of tiny legs on the flesh assaults your senses as the leaves and boughs bear down all around. Frustrated crying, punctuated by a guttural cackling, can be heard up ahead.
I'm sorry, did you say that the trees were covered in blood?
I don't know what that looked like, yeah.
That's not right. That's not how trees should look. That's... I really don't like it here, so if we could get this done quick smart, that would be very much so appreciated.
Otis, make sure his rapier is loose in his sheath.
I'm gonna say this before I forget. The environmental irritants here make concentration and communication difficult. All checks to interact with other creatures are to be made, interact with each other are to be made with disadvantage. And shadows twitch and dart among the briars, making creatures jittery and tense. Initiative rolls are therefore made with advantage. Not that you'll need initiative.
Oh, no, you can't take it back. Once you've said it, you can't take it back. Did you said that we could hear like cackling coming from somewhere nearby? Can we tell where? Like, is it in the trees? Is it further down the path?
It's further down the path, both the crying and the cackling. But you do hear kind of ambient. You're not sure where it's coming from. Look at you, Marcus. Walking around like an unfledged chick. Keep that up and your wings will become too weak. You'll never fly again. Is that you, Otis? Which persona are you this time? It's all an act for you, isn't it? Do you even know your own motivations? Oh, of course you're here, Victor. Without Jenna, you truly are no one. And be careful not to get lost in these woods, Asha. No one will come looking for you this time.
Oh no!
It's surprising you're here, Irina. You've always been more interested in the long dead. You've become completely useless to anyone in the living world.
Excuse me? Who? Come out here and say that to my face!
Okay.
Where are you?
hold up. All right. Let's see.
Oh no! What? Where'd they come from?
They 5 creatures come out of the forest, out of the woods. They have a tusk with barbs on them and teeth, sharp teeth, and they look kind of like they're made out of blood. It's not terribly clear what these are. And you see further on in among some thick briars, what appears to be a bit of an ethereal Jenna, crying and looking terrified out of her mind as a gangly, mangy Aarakocra covered with talismans and weird knickknacks jumps back and forth, screeching. This mind is mine! This mind is broken and you cannot have it! The forest shakes some. Trees cackle. Limbs are cracking.
Oh.
Right.
Uh.
I would like y'all to roll for initiative. You get it with advantage. And I think we will be going to break shortly then. And so I will be navigating how advantage works in the D&D Beyond encounter builder in the meantime.
That was a nasty roll.
Right. If we are
Nice.
right. So we will be back in a few minutes, 10 minutes. Welcome back to a takethis.org adventure called Guardians of Fog. Guardians of Fog. Sorry. Let's see. Destiny and Dice live stream presentation. I don't know if I was supposed to do that intro or not. But we just jumped into battle. 5 friends of a halfling named Jenna Dubreeze have come into her mind to help her fight her literal inner demons. And the first fight is about to begin. Otis, what was your final initiative?
22.
Okay, so you are first.
All right. Also, I apologize for this random pink line I accidentally drew. I am not sure how to erase it. But let's see. So these things appear in the trees. They look like they're about to jump us. We'll step up next to Victor. And eeny, meeny, miny. That one looks like it's closer to someone. I will target that one with, let me pull it up, Vicious Mockery.
Can you click the spell?
Yes, Wisdom save 13. Display, there we go. Your teeth are ugly and you smell bad.
Probably 13, so he fails. Let's see.
Your damage is 4.
Alright. That was... Hopefully I'll get the hang of this.
Alright, so it takes 4 psychic damage and disadvantage on the next attack roll it makes.
Alright. That was on B. All right. Well, it pisses at you.
I flip at the bird.
All right.
Anyway, that's my turn.
All right. How fast can these things move? Oh. There's a lot of details I went over to make sure I knew, but there's plenty of things I could have gone off about.
Fly 16, walk 30.
Wait, they can fly? Yeah, they can. Whoop. All right. This thing just lobs itself at Asha. And as it's coming at you, it says in your head, "You're in the scary woods again, Asha. You're gonna be just as useless now as when you were a cub. Pathetic." And it is going to attack you with a bite attack.
Okay.
This ugly moth. I'm guessing 9 doesn't hit.
Nope. Does not hit.
Alright. Alright. Next one. 60 feet. Just flings itself off a branch and lands next to Marcus with a splat. It says to you, "You're too late to save Jenna, just like you were too late to save Adam and his people." And just to start this, go ahead and take a bite at you two. It's 13 hit?
No.
Okay. But did you equip the shield?
Oh, I was supposed to do that. Terrible.
I forgot about that. Well, it still doesn't hit you.
Can't.
I'll do three. No.
Well, if it didn't hit, it didn't hit, right?
Okay, so we don't know where to worry about it this time around. No, it's not. Okay. Alright. This guy jumps out and lands next to Otis.
Whoa, ugly.
Ah. Well, hello. Ever since, like, sorry. Here you are, trying to save someone. Ironic, isn't it? Every life you've ever touched is broken. Garn and the rest of your family don't want anything to do with you. Eliana Wintersong wants you dead. Pretty sure Jenna's not going to want you around either. And just because I'm failing at creativity this first round, do another bite. 19.
That hits.
Okay. Alright, 9 damage.
He swears profusely in Common, Elvish, and Dwarvish.
Probably like fluidly too, just perfect crescendo. A, B, C, D. Alright. This dude jumps out, lands next to Victor. You're so loyal, Victor. Too bad Jenna doesn't return that loyalty. She's just using you, you know. She'll bore of you, just like your parents did. I said, bites all around. 19?
Oh, yeah, that hits.
12 damage.
Okay.
And last one. Splunk. Flung itself out of the tree, lands next to you. Arena and right. You're gonna be useless here, you know. You couldn't help the people you care most about. What makes you think you're gonna be useful now?
Oh, yeah. One
Oh, it disadvantaged.
he's at disadvantage. So
G had disadvantage.
no, my same victims.
Sorry. Open her back up.
Oh, yeah.
Nope.
It's not a critical.
Sorry, you still hit.
Nah, I tried.
Yeah, saved him the crit.
You saved him the crit.
Well, I mean,
Don't worry about it.
Alright, Irina, 23 to hit.
Yeah, that will hit.
7 damage.
Okay.
Alright. Alright. But you now, after having had a couple seconds to process these things, these anxieties, they're coming for you personally. And you get the idea that there's a couple ways you can handle this. You can just try attacking them straight on, or this is going to be for the next set of. Just the last couple times I ran this, I failed to do this part, so I want to get it out there. You can fight it direct. You can just fight it, or you can confront it. You have to acknowledge, interact with it, and then take the dodge action. Doing so will help you with your next attack. Also, you can also do the help action, which also has some interaction between you and your friend, and it will help them with their next attack. I'll get into details if you choose to use it. Alright. So,
my turn.
the lair is excited to attack you.
Air actions, huh? Ooh.
I look like the 20 would be 4. That's more than 4. No, it's 4 across. Or sorry, 4 diameter.
Mhm.
This is 20-foot radius cube. This probably affects the anxieties.
Oh, fuck.
Sorry.
Well, I don't think Kaviti cares much about his little minions.
Yeah, it's not really too bad. There. Yeah, okay.
Does this do?
Miasmic cloud, gases from a cloud, 20-foot radius sphere centered on a point. Yeah, it's lightly obscured. I don't know what that means. I'll look it up in a second. Lasts 1 round, and each creature starts their turn. Must make a saving throw. So, or
Must be poisoned?
or 2 points. Yeah, 9 great. Rolls.
Alright. First we have Victor. Do you want to
Okay.
talk? Do you want to talk to it? Do you want to talk to Otis? Sorry, he's just next to you. You can talk to anybody if you want. Or do you want to?
Well, he's got
I wish to confront it. Oh. That's not true. That can't be true.
What makes you say that?
I work there because I want to work there.
Alright.
I don't need Jenna. I don't need anybody.
All right, remember this for me. For your next round, your hit, whether it be magic or melee or whatever form you want to do, is the hit modifier is going to be 8 plus your highest mod plus your proficiency bonus. I'll try to remember that.
Okay.
All right, Asha.
All right. So, as it's like attacking me and calling me useless and small, tempting me not to get lost, I growl back at it, and you're wrong. I've grown up. I'm bigger, stronger, and wiser than I was then. Jenna got me through the woods. Now I'm gonna bring her through the woods. And then I take the dodge action.
Alright. So you also, your next hit will be, the mod for your hit will be 8 plus your highest mod plus your proficiency bonus.
Perfect.
Actually, 1 second. Let Mike still want to move, explaining that his action would be force it, citizen. But
You know, I think for the most part, the thing it's saying is you are focusing on interacting with it. So you can, I'm going to say that you can do dodge or disengage as your action. So if you want to do that as your action instead, that's also.
so that was just before. Did Asher finish his turn? Okay, Asher finished his turn.
Yeah, I was done.
Alright, did Victor want to move?
Oh, did you want to move? Sorry.
Victor?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. It was if you confront him, you can disengage and move, right?
It didn't say that, but I'm going to let you.
Okay, because yeah, he's just gonna move back.
All right. Oh, Marcus, before. Sorry. I want to make sure you have that shield. Well, Marcus, can you roll me a Constitution save?
Said Constitution.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you'll be surrounded by the smelly gas. Dang it. 13 was the DC. I don't know what that means.
What is it? Attack and fails?
Mike, help.
I don't know how to DM. I've DM'd.
He makes the DC, he passes? Okay, cool. Alright, you're good.
Thank you. I have only DM'd 4 times. Well, 5 times if you count Honey Eyes. Alright, Marcus, you have a couple extra spells that come with the shield.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Calm Emotions. And it also gives you some protection. So you now have that. So go ahead.
So the gas kind of hits your lungs, and you're like, oh, and your evolved avian lungs just kind of pushes it out.
All right. What spells am I allowed to use? Am I allowed to use anything on my list?
Yep.
All right. I'm gonna open up with Word of Radiance. Each one of those little tingly things with a mouth that I can see, I'm trying to attack.
How many would that be? Wait.
Can you show the spell?
Yep, no problem. Just give me a sec.
What's this? Range 5 feet. So you could step forward and get both of them. Am I allowed to do that?
Sure. Yes, the lair may help. No, I appreciate my sister's help. Alright, this one is for Erwina's. And so looks like it saves and Marcus's. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Why couldn't I have had these rolls yesterday? So this, and if they save nothing.
Yeah, it's at the camp.
Alright. Sorry, it looks like they're good. I think Radiance would take them down a notch. Wait a minute. It's currently Asha and Victor's. They might have disadvantage on something. I'll have to check. Okay, sorry. Next is Arena. You have to do a roll Constitution.
Yeah, it's Conte.
Yeah. Okie dokie. Just a normal roll.
Okay, you make it.
Nice.
So you tough it out. Don't let it hurt you.
Okay. And then what was my option was to respond? Is that correct?
You can take either the disengage or dodge action while interacting with it and try and confront it.
I will confront it. Whilst disengaging and dodging, is that correct?
I think it's disengage or dodge.
Okay. Well, I will disengage. And I'm gonna. If I'm doing this wrong, please let me know. I'm gonna.
Probably fine. I might not know.
How dare you? Living people love me. And I will help Jenna however I can.
How far can I go in terms of disengaging?
Your full movement, I think.
My full movement? Okay, well, okay, go. Where was I? I was like
You
here,
were
wasn't I?
right.
Yeah, I was. 1, 2. Oh no. 5, 10, 15, 20, 30. I'm gonna go. Cool. Okay, cool. Well, I have disengaged, and that I think is my turn.
All right.
Actually, work is confronters. Oh, he does as well.
No, wait. It is Otis's turn.
Excellent. So Otis might look like he flushes from anger, but his skin actually turns more reddish. His eyes get bright red. His hair gets a bit fiery. Hold on, people are coming. And so he stares at the blobby thing and just lets out a string of profanities, amidst which he just yells, "You don't know a damn thing." And then he starts shanking it with his rapier and dagger.
All right.
See, that's rapier.
Good. 17.
The dagger would actually deal just 1 point of damage, since he doesn't have 2-weapon fighting feat.
Oops. All right. It's gonna hiss back at you. I don't think it's clever enough to know as many profanities, though. I don't know. If he's conjured from Jenna's mind and she works in a tavern, maybe it does.
Oh yeah, it would know.
And then again, they are reading your minds.
I was gonna say, you put some images on it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Then you should.
You won't figure it out? Okay.
Um,
The anxieties is initiative is 20.
where did that work? Let's see if we can read.
Anyway, we're gonna move on. Alright. Anxiety A for Asha. Alright.
All right, my go, right?
Yeah, your guy's attacking you.
Okay. Sweet.
How can you possibly help, Asha? You're a brute, nothing more. You'll never be anything more than brash and reckless. Oh, it's not with you. It does seem shaken. Actually, they're really just a second. Let me check to see if they're shaken.
Shaken, not stood.
It appears shaken.
Sweet. Does it swipe at me?
No, it's thinking about doing something meaner. Because
Okay. I still snarl in response.
does it care about its buddy? Let's just go like this. Do a stream of corrosive thoughts.
Oh, are you doing A? Can you have a roll of Constitution too?
A has to do with Constitution. 22. Why am I got good rolls today? Let's see. The personification projects a stream of caustic energy in a 20-foot line, 5 feet wide. Each creature in that line must make a DC 11 dexterity saving throw.
Do you mean make a dex save?
Yeah, dex throw.
Oh no!
Alright.
Nice.
What's the damage?
11. Text. Alright. Alright. Marcus's is also going to do the same thing. Marcus, can you roll a con save and then a dex save?
Yep.
No, the anxiety rolls.
Okay, never mind the con.
Okay.
Just like,
I think you still need to do the deck save, not other stuff.
yeah, you will still need to do the dex save. 15?
You save, so it's 13.
Alright. 16 DC. So you get 3 damage. Oh, wait a minute. It would still be 2d8. I just.
Roll 2d8s and then 3. What a coincidence.
Asha, you only got 10 damage. I'm not sure where that +1 came from.
Thank you.
Let's see, Otis's. He is also going to do the same spit thing. So DC Dex save. DC 11. So Otis, can I get a dexterity save from you? Gonna get a line of corrosive thoughts to try and dodge. Well, okay. Is it round up or round down? You get either 1 or 2 points of damage.
Round down, I believe.
Okay. I think you round down.
Generally
1.50. Right.
Oh, so I take 1 point of damage?
Yeah. These next 2 guys have a disadvantage on all attacks, ability checks, and saves. So I'm looking at Victor's. Okay, now we need to disengage. Is there anything that's stopping the thing from coming back at you? No.
It just avoids it.
Okay. It's gonna come at you. Can you give me a dex save, please? Okay, you save. So that would be 4 points of damage. And Rena's gonna hop up. Oh wait, still do a con save. 10.
Oh, okay, so it has to switching radius.
Not Irene. Wait, no, wait. Yes, she did confront him.
So it's also poison.
Okay, so it's like doubly disadvantaged. But it's still gonna do the corrosive thoughts. Okay, so can I get a DC save, please?
Is that for me?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Sorry,
It's Dex.
Dexterity, yeah.
Yeah, dexterity for forms. Nothing.
Ah!
Oh, you are good. Super good. Still get 5 damage though.
Well.
Okay. Victor, it is your turn.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. It's the jumpy layers turn.
Okay. All going. There should be a circle. Okay. It is a 60-foot radius.
What is it?
Wait, never mind. That's correct.
He doesn't. He's gonna. Conveni just hops around. Yeah, he's throwing out taunts every once in a while, or just probably just cackling like a maniac. It's fine. You're all failures. It's just a joke.
Yeah, we'll use that later. So let's do the
I tend to say that I don't have a shoulder angel, shoulder demon. I have a shoulder gremlin and a shoulder fairy. And they pretty sure they represent my internal optimism and pessimism. So yeah, when my depression's flaring up, it's a really mean jerk. My shoulder gremlin.
Okay, can Erwina,
It's fun to trivialize him.
Anxiety E, Marcus, and Anxiety B roll a dex save? DC 15.
Yeah.
Whichever one that was, he's prone.
Okay, and which ones did you say?
Irina. Irina's inside.
Dex save.
Dex save, yeah. Marcus.
Ugh. 13.
Okay, you save. Oh no, third save was 15. You don't save. Marcus doesn't save.
Oh.
Okay, you're prone. You were not okay, the ground shakes and you're knocked prone. As he does an evil cackle and the ground just shakes around you. You lose your footing.
Is that me that's prone?
Irina, Marcus, did you roll the one for both of them? Or did you roll?
Oh, sorry.
Okay. And
This is the reason for prone. I'm just gonna do the broken back. Me too. Okay. Alright. That's it. Now it's Victor's turn. You have, for a spell or basic attack, you have, it's 8 plus your highest mod plus your proficiency.
What do you mean highest mod?
Whichever, like, constitution, it's probably wisdom, you're a cleric.
Yeah. Okay.
But if you do a spell, it's, let's see.
Okay. For my action, I'm going to cast Word of Radiance. It is a verbal spell, so I can do it within melee, while clutching my holy symbol. And the creature needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
My team.
Yeah, it's saved. And then for my bonus action, I'm going to do Healing Word on myself. It's a first level spell. So I regain 5 HP. And as for my move action, can I pull out my melee weapon? It's a mace. Okay, so I have my mace in my hand now. That's the end of my turn.
So I'm gonna take my longsword and slash at this thing. 8 plus my proficiency plus my highest mod equals 12.
Then roll d20. Actually, yeah. Plus, like, that's your bonus to your attack.
Oh, that's the bonus. Gotcha. Okay.
So it'll be 12
Yeah.
plus 10, so 22. Alright, so that
Yeah.
hits.
Cool.
And you probably sliced its proboscis off. Whatever thing on its face was.
Awesome. And it's still up, still alive then?
It is still alive,
Alright. Cool.
but you heard it.
Awesome. Like, guess I would shout back at it, like, get out of my head with your lies. And that'll be it.
He hit with it's disadvantage if they're prone, or it's advantage if they're prone, right? Is this melee? Do you want to roll one more time just in case you get a crit?
Yeah, you want it?
Yeah. Sorry, I totally missed that he was prone.
Yeah, I just remembered it because Wilson.
Alright, we're one more time.
Oh.
Eh. Damage is better, though.
Actually, sorry, I gotta do this real quick.
Wait, was he prone?
Playing a fighter.
Okay, why did people see him?
It's because he's
So I'd see dealing.
who else confronted their anxiety? Irina,
Not I, said the bard.
Asha, and Victor, right?
That's what I have.
Okay. So, actually, let me check this damage. Irina,
Hmm.
your turn. The thing's on the ground, and it looks shaken. It also looks like it's full health.
It is on the ground. Wait, am I prone still, or am I not prone anymore?
Oh, you are prone.
Yeah. So I can't do nothing. I'll just
Well, you
lay
can use
here.
your move to get up.
Okay. My action or my movement?
Your movement.
Okay, cool. Well, I will get up then. And I will. I'm gonna use ice knife on that one in front of me. Hang on. How do I? Oh no. How do I? I know how to do this. Display.
If you click the spell, you can display it.
Let me display, not roll. I guess I'm. Oh, there it goes. Okay.
Alright.
So I'm doing that. Did that roll as well, or did that just?
No, I don't see a
It
roll.
just. Okay, cool. That's right. I will now roll. Do I get advantage because they're
I
prone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, right?
Boop, boop, boop. And the DC, I think, is 24.
Twenty hits. How much damage was it? But is it 9
Is-
piercing plus 7 cold?
Yes.
Well, the thing's just kind of like this statue briefly of ice until it kind of like leans a little bit and then just shatters.
Hey, nice.
Nice.
I destroyed my anxiety. I'm cured.
I wish that's.
Technically, she should do a dex save because basically the ice knife explodes.
Oh, ouch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Not advantage, just normal.
You save.
Nice. That's what I like to hear.
Okay, so is that the 2d6 cold damage? Okay.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So the cold damage would have been 2, and we actually, so she saves, so she takes half damage.
Does it? It takes some of the cold damage, though, doesn't it? Or not?
Okay, she does not take cold damage. He does not take cold damage, but he's vulnerable to her attack, so he takes twice the piercing damage.
Okay. He's dead.
Which is what I was trying to pass to you about Asha's. Asha's was vulnerable to his damage, so his damage should be double.
How much damage did Asha do?
The first roll was like a 3 slashing damage, so
So 6. So just add an extra 3 damage. Okay.
Okay, yeah, it looks pretty terrible.
sweet.
It's like, now it's like blood that's spewing. Get the fuck with too much blood. Alright, I'm sorry. Now we're on to Ash. No, we are on to the lip. Right?
Oh, you did the anxieties first. Remember.
That's right.
Is it? Oh, Erwina just went. Oh, this is next.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm top of the
Okay.
round.
You should go there.
Alright.
All right. I'll keep taunting the anxiety as I stab and thrust at it. What? Don't have anything else intelligent to say to you, edgy creep? Cat got your tongue?
Yeah.
Looks like your bite really is worse than your bark.
Are you going to be attacking it too? Or
Yeah.
okay, that hits.
So, yeah, Rapier's 12 dagger is only 1 damage again.
He's not looking great. Maybe he did cut his tongue off. That'd be awkward. I mean, it's telepathic. It's not gonna affect its speaking abilities. All right, next we have the anxieties. All right. Asha's just kind of gurgling blood. Oh, let's see. Your presence has never made anything better, has it, Asha? Everything will go wrong again. It'll be your fault again, except this time you just won't be strong. And it's gonna just try biting you. Does 17 hit?
Nope.
Great. Just
I like bat it away with my shield.
probably causing it more damage.
Probably.
All right. Oh. Marcus, you can't save Jenna. I mean, look at you. You're a healing cleric with more death under your wings than survivors. This guy's still feeling pretty confident. It's going to... It's going to do a mind fog on you.
Okay.
Miranda, did you go last round?
Actually, did you? What did you do in your last round?
I attacked with Word of Radiance.
Yeah, no. Do you want to just let her go ahead and take her move before the anxiety takes its move against him?
No. Did we skip you?
Yeah, because he would have been after Asher. Wait. No, he would have been.
Is she right?
Voltron is being weird for me. I don't really see the turn order very well.
Nice. Here, why don't we
I
just...
honestly-
Mike is pretty
I don't
sure,
know.
and Mike is the one that brought it to my attention, so.
Okay. Alright. Go ahead and do it. Sorry, we did skip your turn. Go ahead.
I just think it'd
Sorry.
be fair for him to take his turn before his anxiety.
Okay.
Otis's turn?
It's Marcus's turn, and then it's gonna be Marcus's anxiety.
Gotcha.
Oh, you're right.
I'm going to cast Spiritual Weapon.
Yeah. Can you use your spiritual weapon when you cast it, or do you have to wait? When you cast that, you can make a spell attack. 20 would hit. 60. 6 damage.
And he can use his bonus action to attack again.
Oh. Do you want to attack again?
Just give me a sec. Did the roll come through for you guys?
A 20.
Oh, 20 again? Oh,
And,
okay.
it's 7 this time.
Okay. Sorry. Alright. Next is...
Glowing light of the spirit. What does your spiritual weapon look like?
Yeah, what does it look like?
Alright, so Marcus summons a floating spectral weapon. It looks mildly ethereal, but also glows a little bit. And then he uses it to strike the creature beast in front of him.
So I'm imagining some of the pseudopods are starting to like glow from where they got hit as they fall. He's not looking.
Alright, it's going to try attacking you, though. Can you make a Constitution save for me?
Going to clear the from because since neither one moved.
Alright. Your speed is now halved and you can't use reactions. Just let's see. Okay. Lasts for 1 minute. Ouch. So it's pretty much, it's taking away your ability to do bonus actions, I think. You could do either a bonus action or an action for 1 minute.
That's mean. He's just got a spiritual weapon.
Alright, now Otis's. I am going to try doing another corrosive thoughts at you. Can I get a dex save?
Dex yippers. Oh, whoops. Rolled that twice, sorry.
You're good. One damage. And next is Victor's. It's going to try biting you. Uh, 18 to hit.
Victor?
Yeah.
Yeah, that hits.
Where's the... I guess I can kind of understand why people use macros. I mean, I understood it before. Just 7 damage. You did heal
Okay.
yourself earlier, didn't you?
I did for 5 HP.
Okay. Alright. Round 2. Oh, he's dead. Alright, and now it's the lair. Okay. Lairs are confusing.
Okay. Molten rock erupts from a point on the ground, creating a 20-foot high, 5-foot diameter radius geyser. Each creature must make a DC 15 saving throw. That creature's gonna be Marcus. Last time was good. I'll delete her a second for the stay. So Marcus, if you can give me a dex save. Oh. Alright, you don't get knocked prone or anything, but you do take damage. You might get a roll damage. You get 12 points of damage.
Alright.
Alright. Victor, you're up.
I have my
You have a sword or
I
pokey
have my
stick.
mace. I'm going to strike with my mace.
Right.
Can I do that while I'm holding my shield? Yeah, one-handed, right? Yeah.
Let's- I'm trying to figure out if the confront option, if it's for their next attack only, or if it's for any next attack. You hit anyway. What am I talking about? You critted. Okay. Do you have the thing up? Oh, yeah, this one. No, it's not. Look up the confront action.
Right, confronting. Confront action? Acknowledge it.
I didn't confront him my last turn.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if it's you just have to confront him once, or you have to do it each time you want that.
It says until the next turn.
Okay, darn it. Okay.
Oh, that was a crit. So technically that'd be a 3.
No.
3 points of damage.
Alright.
And then
No, wait a minute. But
bonus.
he's still, even if you missed, he's still vonerable from now on.
Yeah, that's what I saw. Yeah, the personification is still vulnerable to all damage from other characters who has disadvantage on all attacks and ability checks and saving throws. Wait, we were supposed to have had disadvantage on all our. It's been a while,
Yeah,
guys.
but also they haven't been doing, except for the bite, they haven't really been doing.
Okay.
They've been threat saves.
Okay.
Bonus action healing word.
Yay!
And that's the end of my turn.
Poor Victor, he got a crit with only a 1.
Yeah. Asha, it's your turn. With your barely holding on.
We should have gotten Victor.
Yeah. So I am gonna I'm gonna attack again with my longsword, and hopefully
Does not hit. No, you have advantage still.
No, it is vulnerable. It is vulnerable.
is vulnerable to my damage. So 12 does not hit.
No, it does not.
Rip. Okay. Well, there's not really much else I can do. Actually, you know what? I am going to. I'll take an attack of opportunity, and I'm gonna move up to help Marcus.
Opportunities.
That's just an attack.
Yeah,
This is
just
their
a regular
reaction.
attack.
It's like a bite. That's their
Their primary 7. I don't think hits.
Yep. neither one of those hit me. So yeah. And as my fighting style is protection, so if I'm within 5 feet, while wielding a shield and a creature you see attacks a target other than you that's within 5 feet of you, I can use my reaction to impose disadvantage on the attack roll. So.
Cool. So, help me remember that he's got disadvantage.
I will. I'll help you remember that. And that's my turn.
Marcus, you're up.
All right.
Poor bird feathers.
You can either do an action or a bonus action because of the thing he did to you last round.
Alright, well, I just took a pretty good hit. So I'm actually gonna move back and try and disengage for a second and also heal myself.
Okay.
Actually, no, you can only do one or the other
Oh wait.
because she doesn't have a bonus action.
Oof.
Alright, well, I'm just moving back then.
Well, that would. Oh, so you're just
Back
going to
and kind of behind Asha.
But the creature for the opportunity attack will have disadvantage, right? Because of the turn.
Yeah, because
Oh.
I can use
So he-
my reaction to impose disadvantage.
So if you don't disengage and you still want to heal yourself, you can risk it.
Up to you.
I'm gonna go for it.
To risk it or just disengage.
Disengage.
Okay. Who's next? Arena.
I am going to. I'm gonna move a little as well. I'm gonna try and get as close to Jenna as I can. So I'm gonna aim for like there, and I can attack Vidi. Is that his name? Our bird friend up here.
Sure.
I'm gonna use Scorching Ray. So let me. That's what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna direct all three at them.
It misses. Does he just you roll for?
Yeah, for each ray, make a rage attack for each race.
They're all gonna miss.
Why?
Because while the anxieties are still alive, everything towards him is not on this.
Oh no!
Sorry.
Does she at least start burning the forest?
Do you want?
Wait, what was that?
She just said, "Can she at least start burning the forest?" And I said, "If you want."
So she says that all attacks against him miss.
Until all the anxieties are dead.
Ah, lovely. No, I'm not going to start a fire because that will probably affect Jenna's mind somehow.
Yeah. I mean, on Jenna's behalf.
Arena started the fire.
It's Confetti's fault.
So I guess there is nothing that I don't have any bonus actions, so there's nothing more that I can do. So that's my turn.
So yeah, Confetti's gonna just taunt you. It's like, ha, you're in my domain. Creepy like that. But he also can't attack till the anxieties are so. Ooh. All right, Otis.
Wow, man. Sorry, you just keep getting worse and worse. But I keep enjoying this more and more. And I continue to stab the thing.
All right. Hey. So you crit with your dagger. So
And crit fail with my rapier.
Oof.
so it should
That
actually
sounds
be,
about
like,
my luck with online rolling.
It's gonna just laugh at you. It's like everything you do fails.
It would just be a 5 with the dagger. A 1 and a 4.
With the crit. Okay.
Because he doesn't have the gun. Alright.
How much damage?
1.
No. He has not confronted his fears, but that hasn't slowed him down much.
He's very proud.
Who's next? Oh, the anxieties. Alright. This thing's gonna like sluggishly just crawl after you. She's like,
You again.
ridiculous, you know that? Your weaving is terrible and everyone thinks you're ridiculous.
I'm not believing you anymore.
Sure, that's fair. Alright, it's gonna try and do the Can I get a Constitution save?
Yes, you can.
Ooh, can I get one from Marcus too?
Oh no.
Oh, Marcus!
Marcus, no!
Actually, you know, he already has the conditions of the Mind Fog. I don't think they double up.
Yeah, no, I don't think there'd be a way to do that.
Yeah, but Asha
I
saves.
don't know.
You're good. So yeah, I don't think
Okay.
Ooh. Is that the spiritual weapon? Yeah. Where it was on
By the anxiety.
probably. Okay. Marcus's anxiety says what's next on the list? There's disease and sickness follow you everywhere you go, Marcus. You must be causing it. You're the source of everyone's suffering that you come in contact with. And I am going to try biting you.
And disadvantage because I'm gonna use my reaction, so
Yeah, it bites at you pathetically. I actually would have moved, sorry. But yeah, it was a really pathetic bite. Ash. Let's see. All right, Otis. Changelings aren't really meant for friendship, you know. How can anyone ever actually love you when there is no real you? And can I get a Constitution save from you, Otis? You're good.
So he just breathes bad. Breathes at him.
I spit in the thing's face.
Actually, how much how much damage does that cause? It's doing that badly. Alright.
1d4 psychic damage. That's what I'd say. But anyway.
Alright. Victor.
Is disobedient?
You'll never be good enough, Victor. You let a man die because you were too busy swatting flies. There's not a thing in the world you're competent at. And going to... Can I get a Constitution save from you?
Sure.
Yeah. Alright. Your speed is halved. I forgot to tell Marcus that. Speed is halved. You can either use a bonus action or an action, not both. And this lasts for 1 minute.
1 minute?
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright. Who are we on now? That thing's dead. Okay.
He is there.
Didn't we just do the layer? Sorry.
haven't done in my ass in a while.
How big is that? Oh yeah, that's
It's,
right.
it's 20-foot radius.
I'm not sure what line of sight Community has around this tree.
Fine, I'll stick
This
it
one, I
right
think.
here.
This I think is a bigger.
Oh, if I put it there, I get 3. I'll have you roll your. It's. Yeah. It's on your turn that you put your.
All right, Victor, you're up.
Well, he's going to take his mace. Okay. Instead, I'm going to use my action to phase step.
Does that
30
provoke?
feet. It's a magical teleport. If you want to read that. It is a bonus action. I'm going to use it.
Okay, so do you have an action you have in mind?
Whoa. No, you said I can only have an
Oh,
action
that's
or
right.
a bonus.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So I'm going to I want to go over here.
Now the woods are kind of thorny, right?
Yeah, the woods are pretty dense, so you're not going to be able to push too far in. I'll let you get a couple squares in, though.
Right there. And that's the end of my turn.
Great. Next is Asha.
All right. Well, since my anxieties decided to follow me, I'm gonna attack it again.
Great. Alright. It just squishes.
Like I said, I'm not believing you anymore. And yeah, that's pretty much my turn.
And you make a squeeze.
Alright, Marcus.
You got blood all over. So, or,
What's up?
It is your turn.
Alright. I'm gonna use the spiritual weapon to attack the creature right next to Asha, if I can.
Does
oh, the one next to ours? I think,
Yeah.
I think you moved her about 5%. Did you move it? Or?
16 hits? You didn't ever confront yours, did you?
No, it's straight.
Okay, just straight.
Ritual.
Okay.
Come on, guys.
I was really hoping to get community for tonight. Alright, Erwina?
I am going to do Scorching Ray again, but I'm going to do it on this fellow here, if I can. This guy. Pretty much the 3 remaining anxieties. So I'm gonna do that. Oh, absolute poop. I don't know. I don't think that will hit.
Yeah. Do you want to do 2 more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well
Ooh.
that's a nice one. I like that one. And
Oh, where was the second one headed? To the middle?
so I'm gonna I'll go for the 2 that are furthest away. So the second one will be going for the one that's next to Otis.
All right.
Yay.
Yeah, your buddy that you've been spitting at just suddenly just in flames, and then just crumbles down.
I knew my work. I knew I could spit fiery verses sometimes, but this is taking it to a whole nother level.
Alrighty. We are down to 2 anxieties.
It's Otis's turn.
My turn. Let's see. I do need that selected.
No, it's Marcus's turn.
Hey, sir, how you doing? That's a nice set of teeth you got. There would be a shame if someone thrust a sword right between them.
Alright. The rapier hits. That is 60. It didn't like that. It thought it had pretty nice teeth. Alright, we got 2 anxieties left. Alright.
Did they feed one?
Yeah.
You told her?
This guy's gonna hobble back over after Victor.
Ooh, do I get an attack of opportunity?
Yeah, sure. They're pretty single-minded. Alright, the rapier. Yeah. So that would be what's half of 7? 3?
Yeah, it'd be 3.
Oh, she's hiding now. Dang it.
Why?
I was like, God, attack is the messes with my being overseas.
Yeah. She attacks it's anxiety 8 to my head.
Well, I'm gonna post something then.
Alright. Let's see if it's run out of insults. Oh yeah. Victor, the last insult I got written up here for you is, your family was right, you know. That god of yours was dreamt up. She's not real, and you know it. You threw everything and everyone away because you're hiding behind this pathetic curtain that you've invented. I'm going to bite attack. 17 hit?
17's my AC.
Actually, I would like to use cutting words.
Alright, what does cutting words do?
Can I?
You can use your reaction. You just use your reaction too.
Oh wait, did I?
For the opportunity attack.
Budgerigar. Never mind. Sorry. It's late.
Cool.
Proceed with the bite.
Alright. +2.
I tried to help.
7 damage. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, did I never explain the help action? I don't.
No, you did not. I was looking at that. So there were some other rules.
You can help one of your companions confront theirs. It's still just an interaction thing, but it does give them a buff for their next attack.
Yeah, so I think if you you either taunt the enemy or encourage your ally. Their next attack.
I don't think there's disadvantage on interacting.
Okay, so it's
With
only
creatures.
encouraging. I think I was supposed to think about healing.
Oh yeah, healing others is doubled.
So, yep, there we go.
Because these are the kind of things that I think it'd be just hard to intuit.
That's fine. Come on, we got 2 more left. What do we got left?
I'm sorry about my side seat DM, guys. I appreciate her, but all right. Did I do something with Marcus's? I don't think I did. He's gonna try biting at you, Marcus.
Okay, can he roll his Constitution save? Since I forgot everybody else's.
Constitutional. No,
I'm gonna have them roll
it's
first.
not. This is his Constitution. Okay, he
He would
fails.
have this.
Okay.
No, he doesn't. This is he has disadvantage.
It's still a 7. Alright, he misses.
For the wear action, since I forgot, I'm gonna go ahead and ask Asha Rena to roll con saves for the miasma.
Do you want them to do it now?
Uh-huh. And then that will be the knowledge.
Okay, Marcus saved. So do I
Me.
think. What is the miasma say?
It's 13, yeah. We're just
You con save from me too?
Yeah, Asha and Arena.
Con
Good.
save.
Oh.
Oh, everybody's good.
okay. You're all good. You coughed it out.
Okay, alright, Vic.
I'm gonna go ahead and delete that. That was all me. Sorry, forgot.
Victor, it's your turn.
Alrighty, Victor looks horrible. He's going to use the disengage action and move away from this thing. Not really. Yeah, he's going to move it around it and try to get behind Otis.
You know what? Fine.
He's about dead and I can't heal. That's the end of my turn.
Asha?
Alright, well, I'm going to attack. You know what? I'm going to give Marcus the help action. Just encourage him. Hey, Marcus, we're in this together. And yeah, that's my turn.
Alright. Marcus, you're up. And your next attack is a crit. Just guaranteed.
Is it guaranteed hit?
It's guaranteed crit. That's what it said.
Dang.
So would you like to attack him with something?
Yeah, it says that it hits and it crits.
So that'd be 14 damage. Yeah. Are you killing it with your spiritual weapon? Yeah, it just comes down from the sky, cleaving it asunder.
Are you winning?
Aw.
Great. We are down to 1 anxiety. And then hopefully... Do we want to try and get this anxiety tonight, or...
I'll have to tell.
It is at...
Come on, Arena. One shot it.
I'm gonna try.
Get it.
Alright, I'm gonna move first and foremost. A little. Yeah, I'm gonna go to about here. And I'm gonna, because nobody's around it, use Ice Knife again. On that remaining anxiety. Okay. Please. Oh. Maybe.
All right.
Oh no, come on. 2 more points.
Yeah, 2 more hit points. All right, Otis. This thing's just trailing blood everywhere. It's, so it's your turn, Otis.
My turn. Alright. On guard, you son of a witch. And stabby stabby.
It's 18 hit.
18 hits.
Yes!
All right. And that thing goes squish. Whatever. All right. All right. So Kavita's gonna yell out. Say, no! You can't have this mine. It's mine! So, let's see. The forest shakes violently, the trees crackle, and limbs fall with the force of this creature's rage. And cliffhanger. So hopefully, I'm pretty sure that with one more session we can get through and finish this off and save Jenna.
Yeah, this with the anxieties, this fight was complicated.
Yeah,
the
this
others-
was
the others go a little smoother, I promise.
The other fights are much smoother. I apologize. Thank you though for your patience. Thank you for your participation. Take care. Be good to yourselves.
Thank you for running.